Another day, another story. The story's name is Homeland and Love. From where life is split into two parts, each part can take birth in a new form. Whether you live in your own country or another, love finds you and true love never leaves you. Once upon a time, there was a migrant worker named Reno who traveled across the country in search of work. He had left his hometown in search of a better life, and after months of hopping from job to job, he found himself in a small town in the Midwest. It was there that he met a woman named Lily. She was the daughter of a local farmer, and she had lived her whole life in the town. Reno was immediately drawn to her kindness and gentle spirit, and he often thought of her. One day, Reno mustered the courage to ask Lily on a date. She said yes, and the two spent a wonderful afternoon exploring the countryside and getting to know each other. Reno and Lily's relationship grew more assertive as the weeks went on. They spent every spare moment together, and Reno fell more deeply in love with her every day. However, Reno knew that his life as a migrant worker was not conducive to building a long-term relationship. He was constantly moving, never staying in one place for too long. He knew he couldn't keep Lily tied down to a life like that. But Lily had other ideas. She deeply loved Reno and didn't want to let him go. She begged him to stay in the town and make a life with her, and eventually, Reno was convinced. As Reno and Lily's relationship blossomed, they faced challenges regarding Lily's parents. They were protective of their daughter and were wary of this migrant worker who had swept her off her feet. One day, Reno came to Lily's house to pick her up for a date, but her parents refused to let her go. They warned her about the dangers of getting involved with a man who didn't have a stable job or a permanent home. They even went so far as to say that he was probably only using her for companionship and would soon move on to the next town. Lily was torn between her love for Reno and her respect for her parents. She pleaded with them to give him a chance, but they were stubborn and refused to budge. This pattern continued for several weeks, with Lily's parents constantly interfering and trying to break up the couple. They would forbid her from leaving the house or talking to Reno on the phone. But Reno was determined not to give up on Lily. He knew their love was real, and they were meant to be together. So, he came up with a plan. He went to Lily's parents and humbly asked for their forgiveness. He promised them he would work hard to provide for their daughter and always treat her with love and respect. He even went as far as to ask for their permission to marry her someday. Slowly but surely, Reno began to win over Lily's parents. They saw how sincere he was in his love for their daughter and how hard he was willing to work to make a life with her. Eventually, they relented and allowed Lily to continue seeing Reno. But also put a condition that you will never return to your country after marrying Lily. Lily cried enough and told her parents, "You are doing wrong, how could this be possible?" So mother said, "All this is being exposed for your betterment and good." Reno immediately said this was impossible, but I would also go to my country, and my wife would go with me after marriage. Now it will be decided by both of us in which country we want to live. Then you forget Lily forever. Mother said. I can't forget it because it is my true love, but thousands of loves can be sacrificed for the country. And when Reno started to leave, the father called out, "Stop. Son, we wanted to see that you don't want to use our daughter. A person who cannot love his country, soil, and people cannot love anyone. Therefore, from today our daughter and we are both yours." Together, they started a small farm and worked hard to make it successful. Reno still occasionally traveled for work, but he always returned to Lily and their little piece of paradise. Years passed, and Reno and Lily's love only grew stronger. They had a family, and their farm became a beloved fixture in the town. Reno had found the better life he was searching for, and he knew that it was all thanks to the love of a wonderful woman who had captured his heart. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more stories.